Hey Google, call the Montgomery Police Department.
Witness video shows what police say is an 8-year-old driving a stolen car. The witness said he saw the child hit another car and then drive off. The witness said he continued to follow the car, and at one point it turned onto the boulevard going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, he picked up some adults on Norman Bridge Road. It was two guys, and they just wanted a ride to, I think, American Deli. And so I followed them there. I kind of kept my distance.
No one was hurt, but this witness fears it could have ended differently.
Yeah, I think parents don't get involved in their kids' lives enough anymore. It's not 100% their fault, but I think parents really just need to know where the kids are, what the kids are doing.
Yo, what it do? Welcome to another episode of Down with the Sickness, man. And so, like I said, Down with the Sickness is a series that I'm starting up, and I'll be happy if y'all would, support it. Go and watch the videos. I will be creating a whole playlist for it. But yeah, in this episode of Down with the Sickness, we talking about an 8-year-old boy who carjacked somebody. That's right, carjacked somebody. Sounded like something that's coming up out of South Central somewhere, way back in the day. Carjacked somebody and went on a high-speed chase. On top of that, went and picked some people up in the process when he went on this high-speed chase. It's stupid, man. It's real stupid. But now, to my surprise, this ain't happening on South Central. Nah, this isn't happening in South Central. This ain't happening in Compton. This ain't happening in Chicago. This ain't happening in Atlanta. You would think it would happen in Atlanta. This ain't happening in Tennessee. Nah, it happened in my neck of the woods, man. I'm in Montgomery, Alabama right now, man. This happened in Montgomery, Alabama. And I promise you, I remember seeing a news story about a car chase like so many days ago. I'm thinking, oh well, man, just another day in Montgomery. These fools out here wilding out. It is what it is. I gotta go to work. When I watched the news clip and I heard Montgomery, I'm like, oh, man. The whole story just sounds so crazy, man, but I'm gonna let y'all watch the news clip.
Montgomery police were involved in a car chase this morning, and behind the wheel, they say, was a child.
That's right. Authorities have taken an 8-year-old into custody with multiple charges pending. This is video we have from the scene of the child being put into the back of an MPD patrol car.
Yeah, shocking, right, Valerie? Well, we do have a lot of information we can share with you. We want to let you know that this all happened with a robbery call on West Fairview Avenue. When officers tried to pull that stolen vehicle over in the area of the East-South Boulevard and Norman Bridge Road, that 8-year-old driver refused to stop. Police say the child crashed into another vehicle in the area of West Fairview Avenue and South Court Street. A witness says he followed the car as it left the scene and realized along the way that it was a little boy who was driving.
Yeah, well, that was one of the main reasons I called the police. Of course, I was going to call them anyway because I had their license plate. But whenever I realized it was a little boy, I knew I had to follow him and make sure that no one got hit and that he got caught, because don't want him driving all over Montgomery, causing more accidents or hurting himself or hurting other people.
Now, that 8-year-old, as you saw in the video, was taken into police custody, and officers say they found a weapon, and they say that the armed robbery that started all of this was indeed an armed robbery. Charges are now pending against that little boy. Rosanna, we're going to keep track of this legal process, presumably in the juvenile system. Back to you.
Thanks, Mark. Once we get a confirmation on the charges, we will be sure to pass them along.
Man, this is some crazy stuff, man. 8 years old. At 8 years old, man, I can't lie. Around that same time, I was driving out here. I ain't even gonna lie to you. At 8 years old, I was taking not at 8 years old, but at like around 10 years old, I used to be driving, man. I remember my father was too drunk to drive, and so I would take the keys from him, tell him to get in the passenger side at 10 years old, and I would drive his car wherever he needed to go. I would go and go get some fast food. We go pull up at Church's Chicken. We go pull up at McDonald's or something. Gotta give me a Happy Meal. And we would drive around the whole city down there selling. I understand kids driving at a young age, but 10 is already too young. 8 years old driving a car like that, that is wild, bro. That is so freaking wild. I remember at 10, I can hardly see over the damn steering wheel. I can hardly see over. I had to keep pushing myself up so I can see the road. And so it's like, at 8 years old, how is this even possible? Where the hell are your parents at, man? And how did you get a gun at 8 years old? All right, let me backtrack again, because like I said, I done never been in these positions, man. I done been young to the point I was driving at a young age, and I done had access to guns at a young age. I remember seeing my father passed out drunk one time, and going through his stuff, I saw a little deuce, or whatever it was. You know, it was a little revolver. I picked up the revolver and I went outside to play with it, because I used to love the thought of being a cowboy, you know. And so that's what I carried the gun around like I was a little cowboy, and I whipped it out a few times. Luckily I ain't whip it out and try to shoot somebody, you know. When you have parents that don't watch your kids, stuff like this can happen real easy. Real easy. My mother dropped me off at my father at the time. He wasn't watching me, and boom, look how quick I probably could have shot another one of my cousins in the back of the head. It's crazy. You know, at that age, you so young, you're not really thinking about it. You're not really thinking about the consequences, because nobody ever teaches you the consequences. And so things just happen. At 8 years old, this young boy had no parents watching out for him. At 8 years old, he was able to go jack somebody, which means that he was living in an environment where stuff like jacking is really normal. You know, you would think a kid would be scared to jack some grown people, but nah, it ain't no fear in him, because he done probably seen it too much. He done had people teaching him about stuff like this way too much. He know what he doing. And so he jacked these people, and in the middle of jacking these people, he goes and he picks up some more people to give them a ride to American Deli. Man, ain't that some, man? Why? So yeah, this whole situation is crazy. The kid, he went to a Montgomery detention center. Hopefully he stayed up for a minute for him to get his mind right, because he too hot right now. I'm gonna be real with you. He too hot right now to be back out on the streets. You know what I'm saying? He need to be rehabilitated, because at 8 years old doing stuff like this, it's like it's something in his brain that's like hardwired for street shit. And he gonna go down a real dark path, man. He needs some real mentors in his life. He needs real parents, to tell you the truth. But you know how it is in the black community. We don't get none of those. We don't get real parents. And so hopefully them security guards can teach his ass a thing or two. You know, hopefully they keep him in there for a long time and tighten him up. But yeah, man, it seems like even at 8 years old in the black communities, especially, you got kids, even the kids, getting down with the sickness, man. We spreading the sickness all the way down to the kids, you know, and it's been happening for a long time, to tell you the truth. And just think about it, even these adults that he came to pick up, they know that he stole that car, because they know that he's 8 years old. What is he doing in a car? What is he doing driving a car? They see the way he living, and they still chose to get in the car to go. They didn't even care about him or what he could be going through and his well-being, his state of mind, and stop to think, yo, youngin, like what you got going on? Yo, we need to find your parents. Nah, they was like, take me to American Deli. They don't care. And that's how it is in the black community, man. We don't care about the youth. We just exploit the youth. They didn't care that this young man that just jacked this car, that he probably told him more than likely. He more than likely told him that he jacked that damn car. And since he told him that they jacked the car, they like, just take me to American Deli and drop me off. So instead of helping him or trying to get him to see the right thing to do, to stop what you're doing and try to do better for yourself, and that this ain't the route to go down, they would rather just use him for their own, you know, selfish reasons. And that's what happens in the black community, man. The kids see that. They see that nobody cares about what they do. And that's what makes them do the things that they do, because they know nobody cares, man. And so it makes it real easy to get down with the sickness when you feel like nobody cares in the first place, especially as a young child. So who's to blame for this? Because I know the guy in the news clip said that he don't really want to blame the parents. But nah, the parents is exactly to blame, man. For one, why ain't you watching your kids? Why are you not watching your kids? And two, how does your kid know to jack a fucking car? 3, what the hell does he get a gun from? Like, it's so many questions you can ask, man. And so it's like, it's so many points I can make off that. But the moral of the story is, man, yes, it's the parents' fault. It's all the parents' fault. You know, they don't raise these kids. They let the streets raise them. And especially in a place like Montgomery, Alabama, you don't want the streets raising these kids in places like this. You know, in places like Selma, in places like Montgomery, Mobile, Birmingham. You do not want the streets raising these kids, man, because it will turn out to be monsters. So yeah, if you wondering how an 8-year-old can do something like this, that's how. The parents got down with the sickness. They spread the sickness to their kid. And now we get what we get in society, man. But yeah, that's it for this video. Like the video if you actually like the video. You know, I appreciate the support. You know, leave a comment. Share the video most definitely. And yeah, man, don't get down with the sickness, man. Help these kids see a better way. Help these kids go the route they should go in life, because it takes, even though it is the parents' fault, it does take a village to raise the child, man. So you got to look at the environment that they're growing up in. Y'all got to do y'all part in making sure these kids don't get to the point where they like this 8-year-old kid right here. You know, get them some real help and guidance way before they doing destructive stuff like that. Pay attention to the kids, man. But yeah, that's it for this vid. Peace.